Ready.
Hi guys, in today's video we are going to study about transmission media. Before proceeding to the lesson, let's have a look at the learning outcome. In this chapter, we will learn about physical connections, the guided media, and wireless connections, the unguided media. Transmission media is communication channel that is used to carry the data from the transmitter to the receiver through the electromagnetic signals, or in other words, transmission media carries data from one computer to another. These signals are transmitted from one device to another in the form of electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy is a combination of electrical and magnetic field vibrating in relation to each other. Electromagnetic signals can travel through a vacuum, air, or other transmission media. For example, power, voice, radio waves, infrared light, visible light, ultraviolet light, gamma, and cosmic rays. The main function of these is to carry the data in the bits form through the local area network. In data communication, it works like a physical path between the sender and the receiver. For instance, in a copper cable network, the bits in the form of electrical signals, whereas in a fiber network, the bits are available in the form of light pulses. The quality as well as the characteristics of data transmission can be determined from the characteristics of medium and signal. The properties of different transmission media are delay, bandwidth, maintenance, cost, and easy installation. Some factors need to be considered for designing the transmission media. Firstly, it is about bandwidth. All the factors are remaining constant. The greater the bandwidth of a medium, the higher the data transmission rate of a signal. Secondly is transmission impairment. It is when the received signal is not identical to the transmitted one due to the transmission impairment. The quality of the signals will get destroyed due to the transmission impairment. Thirdly, it is about interference. An interference is defined as the process of disrupting a signal when it travels over a communication medium on the addition of some unwanted signal. Now, let's look at the causes of transmission impairment. Firstly, it is about attenuation. Attenuation means the loss of energy. For example, the strength of the signal decreases with increasing the distance, which causes the loss of energy. Secondly, distortion. Distortion occurs when there is a change in the shape of the signal. This type of distortion is examined from different signals having different frequencies. Each frequency component has its own propagation speed, so they reach at a different time, which leads to the delay distortion. Thirdly, it is about noise. When the data is traveled over a transmission medium, some unwanted signal is added to it, which creates the noise. There are two categories of communication channels. Firstly, it is physical connections, the guided media. Secondly, wireless connections, the unguided media. Physical connection is referred to as wired or bounded transmission media. Signals being transmitted are directed and confined in a narrow pathway by using physical links. There are three types of physical connections. They are twisted pair, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. Twisted pair is a physical media made up of a pair of cables twisted with each other. Twisting reduces interference, crosstalk, from electrical signals. A twisted pair cable is cheap as compared to other transmission media. Installation of the twisted pair cable is also easy and it is a lightweight cable. Now let's look at coaxial cable. This cable contains an external plastic cover and it includes two parallel conductors where each conductor includes a separate protection cover. This cable is used to transmit data in two modes like baseband mode as well as the broadband mode. This cable is widely used in cable TVs and analog TV networks. By using this cable, the data can be transmitted at high speed. Secondly, it has better shielding as compared to twisted pair cable. Thirdly, it provides higher bandwidth. The disadvantages of this cable is it is more expensive as compared to twisted pair cable. Next, if any fault occurs in the cable, causes the failure in the entire network. A fiber optic cable is dozens of hundreds of thin strands of glass or plastic that transmit pulses of light, not electricity. It is used for transmission of large volumes of data. A fiber optic cable has lower error rate and more expensive than twisted pair or coaxial cable. It is also lighter and more durable than twisted pair or coaxial cable. This picture shows a fiber optic cable. Following are the advantages of fiber optic cable over copper. Firstly, the fiber optic cable provides more bandwidth as compared to copper. Therefore, the fiber optic carries more data as compared to copper cable. Secondly, fiber optic cable carries the data in the form of light. This allows the fiber optic cable to carry the signals at a higher speed. Thirdly, the fiber optic cable carries the data at a longer distance as compared to copper cable. Next, the fiber optic cable is more reliable than the copper cable as it is immune to any temperature changes, while it can cause obstruct in the connectivity of copper cable. Lastly, it is thinner and sturdier. A fiber optic cable is thinner and lighter in weight, so it can withstand more pull pressure than copper cable. The disadvantages of fiber optic cable are difficult to install and maintain, high cost, and fragile. Now let's move on to wireless connections, the unguided media. It doesn't require any physical medium to transmit electromagnetic signals. Electromagnetic spectrum of radiation is the basis of all telecommunication signals, wired and wireless. Radio frequency spectrum is the part of the electromagnetic spectrum that carries most communication signals. Signals are broadcast through air or water and thus available to anyone who has a device capable of receiving them. The main features of this media are less secure, the signals can be transmitted through air, and applicable for large distances. There are three types of unguided media. Firstly, let's look at radio waves. Radio waves are the electromagnetic waves that are transmitted in all the directions of free space. Radio frequency spectrum is the part of the electromagnetic spectrum that carries most communication signals. A radio wave is useful for multicasting when there is one sender and many receivers. An example of the radio wave is AM or FM radio, cell phones, and police radio. A radio wave sends data over long distances using a transmitter and a receiver. The advantages of radio waves are it is mainly used for wide area networks and mobile cellular phones. Secondly, it covers a large area and they can penetrate the walls. Thirdly, it provides a higher transmission rate. The second unguided media is microwaves. Microwaves are radio waves that provide a high-speed signal transmission. They do not follow the curvature of the earth. It is a line of sight transmission. For example, the sending and receiving antennas need to be properly aligned with each other. The distance covered by the signal is directly proportional to the height of the antenna. These are majorly used for mobile phone communication and television distribution. There are two types of microwaves. Firstly, it is terrestrial microwave and secondly, satellite microwave communication. The advantages of using microwaves are: microwave transmission is cheaper than using cables. Secondly, it is free from land acquisition as it does not require any land for the installation of cables. Thirdly, the communication over oceans can be achieved by using microwave transmission. The disadvantages of microwave transmission are: firstly, it is about eavesdropping. And eavesdropping creates insecure communication. Any malicious user can catch the signal in the air by using its own antenna. Secondly, a signal can be moved out of phase by using microwave transmission. Thirdly, a microwave transmission is susceptible to weather condition. This means that any environmental change such as rain, wind can distort the signal. Lastly, allocation of bandwidth is limited in the case of microwave transmission. Infrared waves are used in extremely small distance communication as they cannot go through obstacles, so it stops intrusion between systems. These waves are used in TV remotes, keyboards, wireless mouse, printer, and etc. Well, that's all for this chapter. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all could understand today's lesson. If you have any doubts or questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you so much. See you all in next video. Bye.